A family, in this case played by Mark and Rose, who decide to adopt three children all at the same time. The inspiration for the movie, Sean and I decided we wanted to write a script about a family that adopts three kids, and we wrote it, and at the end he loved it so much, he was like, I gotta go get three kids. So Sean adopted three children, and about 4 or 5 years later, we decided it was funny enough that we should write about it, and we did. And the script turned out pretty well, and we kind of shopped it around, and we got some interest in it, and we showed it to Mark, and Mark loved it and signed on, and from there, it kind of just steamrolled, and here we are today. It was fun because I got to point out what an idiot he is, so that was good. Because he made a lot of mistakes, and we used those for comedic purposes. And we kind of his story was actually fairly boring. Like his kids came and they were actually really great kids. So we had to embellish a little bit. So we added a teenager, and it was based on a woman that we met named Mairead. You hear that? So we implemented some of her story into the script, and yeah. Mairead came from foster care. We met her doing research, and we liked her. She's smart and just a great person, and she inspired us and gave us ideas. And we've collaborated. We made her a consultant on the movie, and then we brought her from LA to work on the movie with us, and she's been here the whole time. She's been fantastic. We've been really lucky. All the women in this cast, like usually we write like male focused, like Daddy's Home and Hot Tub Time Machine, or Horrible Bosses 2, where it's like guys doing guy stuff. And so this was the first time we had a lot of women, and it's been it was fun for us to write these characters, and all the women in the movie have been fantastic. Rose and Octavia and Tig and Julie and Margot and even Isabella, young lady, fantastic actor, and they've all been super nice, crazy fun to work with, just fantastic people. So couldn't be happier. Octavia, we love Octavia, and we are like, if we can get Octavia, and we had a meeting with her, and she said she loved the script, and we were like, oh my god, this is great, we can get Octavia. And then we were like, who'd be a good sidekick, and we were kicking around ideas, and I think we were just watching Netflix, and we saw Tig's documentary, and we were like, what about Tig? She'd be fantastic. And then we had a meeting with her, and she was awesome, and she's just an inspiration, and yeah, we thought the two of them together is going to be fantastic, and it is. I mean, Octavia, we had already written the script kind of towards her to try and help, try to get her to do it. But Tig, yeah, we went through all her stand up, and we watched like her delivery and her cadence and her word choices, and we kind of tried to write her scenes that would fit to how she would deliver them, and yeah, she knocked it out, and she also ad libs things, and she's the funniest person on set, and she cracks everybody up. Not to toot our own horns, but we were trying to, wherever we could, if you came from foster care, if you had adopted kids, we had something to do with the world of it, we wanted to include you, and we cast actors who had come from foster care. We employed people on the crew who had come from it, and just anywhere we could, we try to gather these people and bring them on board. And then we've partnered with different groups and organizations who also do foster to adopt. So hopefully we don't scare people away from it. We had to draw a fine line between making it too scary, so people were like, I'm never going to do that. But hopefully, if you can make it to the end of the movie, if you don't walk out, you'll see that there's a happy ending and it is worthwhile, and hopefully people will look into it, and maybe we'll get some kids adopted at the end of this. When Sean was talking about adopting the kids, because I have two kids, and he's like, "You didn't know, really like what it's like to be a parent." My advice was, there's two things: they're loud and they're sticky, and if you can handle that, they're just kids, and Wherever they come from, they're just going to be kids. They're going to be loud. They're going to be sticky, but they're going to be kids, and it'll be fine. And yes, he has a transitioning period, which is what the movie is about. But eventually, yeah, they fit right in.
My name is Mairead Green, and I'm working as a consultant to the director and the writers, as well as they brought me on to be a production assistant. Sean contacted the agency that I got adopted through, and that's the same agency that he adopted his kids through. And he was just asking to talk to girls that were adopted as teenagers. He ended up sending me the script, and I sent it back to him with a bunch of notes of like, this would never happen, this doesn't make sense, and so he was like, oh, okay. He didn't really, he was expecting like, oh yeah, you're doing great. And so, but I mean, I love that he wanted it to be so honest, because his story is very honest, where he adopted 3 kids, but he wanted a teenager perspective. So he does have a lot of experience on his own, but I like that he brought me in because he wants this to be as honest as possible. And I think that's great for everyone who sees it. And so if you've been in the system and you see this movie, you're just going to really connect to it, and it's not going to feel like it's so distant because he made it so real. What I like about this movie is that it's happy, and it says that you can be in foster care, but you can also live a happy life. That doesn't mean your life is over or you're ruined. I like how it's not an intense drama, because I feel like stories about children that are in foster care are usually really intense and sad and depressing, and this isn't. I met with Rose and I emailed her a little bit. She really wanted to get involved and really understand her character. And then um, I like how she kind of sees Lizzie not just as this troubled girl. She's like, I was a teenager and I was difficult. And so she kind of doesn't judge her, and even though she knows that she doesn't understand, but she just wants to get to know her more. And I really like the way that Rose is approaching her character. Mark, he's Mark Wahlberg. He knows how to do everything, but I mean, he's really nice on set. I've seen him with his own kids, and he has this daughter Grace, who's the cutest girl ever, and so I can tell that he is too, drawing from his personal experience. They're doing a great job. Gustavo, who plays Juan, is incredible. He, I just know that he's going to be, he already is such a great actor, and he really draws from within, and I think he's great. And he's been doing great with crying, and he always says like, can we do something that's happy, and can we play some happy games, because I have to cry all day on set. So he's great. And then Isabella is wonderful. I mean, she's just a great actress. I've talked to her a little bit about my story, but I like how she's a teenager right now, and so she is playing the part of a teenager. And a lot of it, when I was growing up, I thought that I was like had all these issues when I was starting high school. I was just a teenager, and it wasn't because I was in the system. Like, a lot of it is that's just life. He's an expert because he's gone through it himself. And I think he's done a really good job with working with the actors, because he has his own kids, and some of these characters are based off his own kids. And so he's trying to, like, he's doing a good job of not forcing him to be his exact child, um, but still having it in there where you have like the spirit. Like, we were watching some of the cut scenes with his kids, and they would be like, oh, I would do that, I would do that, and they just loved it so much. And I think that just because he has so much joy with making a movie that's has his whole heart in it, that it just radiates. And so when he's working with the actors, you can tell that he really cares about the story. Children that are in foster care are not weird or ruined or like crazy little kids with all of these issues. Like they're just kids and they've gone through some hard stuff, but they're still worth it. They could still make it. They could still do all these incredible things if you love them. I feel like it must be so rewarding as a parent to know that you saved this kid's life. And I think that that's really special. And I think Sean has had such a great experience with his kids. His kids are amazing. I love all of them. And he just wants other people to experience that.